different trowels. We have a London pattern. Who's got the wide one? The London pattern and the Philadelphia pattern. Okay? You might prefer one or the other. If you feel comfortable with the one you have, fine. If you don't, then we'll try to exchange with somebody else. These are a quality trowel. They're about $25 a piece. It's a professional brand. It's not something that you can buy at Channels, exactly. It's not something you buy at Channels or Rickles. You buy it at a masonry supply, or even Sears now carries some Goldblatt brands, right? These are good trowels. A lot of time is spent picking mortar up and spreading it. Okay, so we have to do it efficiently so you don't waste a lot of moves. Okay, there's a certain technique to picking it up, there's a technique to putting it down. Now, I'm going to show you how to pick it up first, and then what I want you to do after, Sharif, do you mind? I'm going to show you how to pick it up, and then I want you to practice picking it up. Okay, and I'll go around and check all of you. We have about 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes so we can do this. Okay? And it'll take you a while to get used to it. All right? You're gonna probably find that your wrist will be bothering you for a couple of days until you get in shape. It's like doing anything. First time you play football or basketball or baseball, you're gonna ache for a couple of days. All right? You're gonna find this. All right? You just got to build up some muscles you haven't used yet. When you hold the trowel, you hold it laying right on your fingers with your thumb on the ferrule, just like that, okay? Not all the way down like this, but just on the top of the ferrule. Okay, everybody take their trowel in their hand and feel that, okay? And you should keep the trowel mobile so you can move it and turn it, because you're going to be constantly repositioning the trowel in your hand, depending on what you're doing, how you're buttering the block or brick, how you're picking the mortar up, or how you're filling in a hole. Okay? So you don't hold it real tight. Okay? That's going to give you muscle strain in here anyway. Hold it loosely. Okay? And be able to roll it in your fingers. Okay? This should become an extension of your hand. Okay? If you have to pick mortar up, there's always some first-year guys that go in and picking it up with their hands and doing things with it. Okay? Don't use your hands. Okay? The mortar, as I told you, is going to dry your skin out. All right, so stay out of the mortar. Use the trowel. If you had to patch a hole somewhere, you're building a wall and you have a hole that you got to patch up. Yeah, you put a little bit of mortar on the end of the trowel and you patch the hole in. Okay, you don't get your hand and stuff it in there and then. Okay, that's why we have the trowel. It's an extension of your hand. If you are right-handed, then you should spread the mortar with your right hand. How many left-handers do we have here? Eric's the only one. Sharif's one, all right? Okay, you'll spread with your left hand, okay? But if you're right-handed, you spread mortar with your right hand, and you lay the brick with your left hand. Now, when you pick the mortar up, first thing you should do is try to shape it into a pile. Okay, and you pull it, what I do is just pull it towards me like that, and then you bring the trowel around like this, cut back, and what you do is you make a little pile that's the same shape as the trowel. And then you pick it up. Okay? That's real simple. You pull something towards you, you cut it back to make the shape, and then you pick it up. Okay? I don't want to see you going like this. Okay? Because it falls off. Okay? You have to shape it, and you give it a little shake like that so it stays on the trowel. All right? If you don't pick it up properly, you just go like this and you try to spread it. It's not going to spread evenly. And it's very important that when you spread, that spread is nice and even, so when you put those brick down, you can press down equally for every brick and lay them quickly. If not, if you have a lot of mortar spread and then just a little and a lot and a little, each time you lay the brick, you're going to be pushing different. And that slows you down. And you want to end up with a nice full joint. And you want a full trowel full. Okay? Don't go picking it up and putting a little mortar like this on the trowel. You'll be there all day. Nice full trowel. Okay? 1, 2, pick up. 1, 2, pick up. 1, 2, pick up. 1, 2, pick up. And right now, that's all I want you to do. 1, 2, pick up. 2 guys on a pan. You have spreading mortar, part 2. Swenson Skills Center. Okay. The last lesson was how to pick the mortar up. Today I'm going to show you how to spread it. A lot of time is spent spreading mortar. You have to do it for every row of brick, every course of block, until the wall is completed. So you have to learn to do this very efficiently, quickly. Because the guy who lays the most brick is going to be the last guy on the job. Okay, the name of the game is production, remember that. So you have to learn to lay a lot of brick. And one of the ways is being efficient when you spread. Now for the first couple of months, okay, I'd be satisfied if you can spread the length of 1 block with 1 trowel full of mortar. Okay, eventually that spread's going to get longer, and hopefully you can spread 2 by the end of the year or next year. I know guys that can spread 3. Load that trowel up and they can really go down the line and spread it. All right, but right now, just 1 block. Now this is an 8-inch wall. This block is 8 inches wide, but the brick you're going to spread for is only 4 inches. So all we have to do is spread this much of the wall, as close to the edge as possible, and the length of the block. You hold the trowel the same way you do when you pick it up, with your thumb on the ferrule. You load the trowel up. If you're right-handed, the trowel's in your right hand, that hand is next to the wall and you face that direction. Okay? You're using your right hand, that hand's next to the wall. If you're left-handed, this hand's next to the wall. You spread this way. You're left-handed, Eric? The only one? Okay. So Eric, you look that way. Everybody else looks this way. You load the trowel up, you hold it about 2 inches off the block, and it's a swinging motion. You swing back. As you swing, you're turning your wrist, you're repositioning the trowel, you're turning it actually like that. You're rolling it in your fingers. You turn the trowel, and you bring the heel of the trowel up, and you end up in that position. Okay? Just like that. The reason you lift the heel of the trowel up is so that the mortar will spread a greater distance. You get a full spread. If you just went like this, then the mortar is just going to fall off and it's not going to go the distance you want. Okay, so you want to be able to spread that. It's a nice easy swing. It's a little bit of a snap of the wrist, and you bring your elbow up. Okay, elbows up when I come back. As close to the edge as possible. Try not to dump it on the floor. Okay? The whole key is to learn to spread enough mortar so when you squeeze that brick down and you cut the excess mortar off, it's just the right height. Okay, and you learn this by practice. All right, at this point I think I just want you to learn to do that. Okay, I don't want you to go on to the next step yet. Just get 1 step at a time. All right, you crawl before you walk before you run. You spread before you furrow before you lay the brick. So 1 thing at a time. All right? We'll spend a few minutes with this. I'll go around with you and check everybody out. Any questions at this point? Everybody think they can handle this? All right, yesterday I showed you how to spread the mortar, pick up the mortar and spread it. Today the second part of the spread is the furrow. You guys paying attention here? The second part is the furrow, and that's when you turn the trowel over and you furrow the mortar. I'm going to spread the wall, then I'm going to furrow it. I'll tell you why in a minute. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention yesterday. Some of you guys were doing a lot of dancing. You were picking the mortar up from over here, going around like this, wasting a lot of moves. Guys are working over here, playing over here. Okay? You stay right in this lane. You reach back, grab the mortar, spread. Okay, nice fluid movement. Just keep moving like this. Okay? If this was a long wall here that we were going to build, there'd be a mortar, a brick pile, and another pan. So by the time you reach here, you go to this pan. Okay? Same thing going that way. So there's always mortar within a step. You should never have to take more than a step for mortar. Now some of you guys are still having problems with this. Watch the tip of the trowel. Watch it drag. I drag it. I started about this joint here. It starts dragging about midway on the block and stops about here. A little far back on that one. Get the front part of your trowel, turn it on an angle, cut off the excess. Throw it where you need it. And you turn the trowel over. You tilt it slightly back like this. The reason for this, for tilting it, is that when you start to furrow, it forces the mortar forward, and along here, if there's any voids, any empty spaces, it'll fill them. Because if you don't fill them and you lay your brick, then you're going to end up with a hole. You have to go back and fill later. All right, that takes time. So we don't want to have to do that. So you get the trowel, and it's sort of a waving motion, just like this. It's not like this. It's not like this. It's waving, and you walk backwards. And you don't go deep. You don't go all the way to the bottom, because then it'll leave empty spaces, places for water to get in, and weaken the wall. Okay, so it's just a very light waving motion. Okay, and you see it as it comes out. Then you go back again with the trowel and you cut it on an angle. Now notice the angle that I'm cutting it. I'm not going back like this. Okay, because if I cut back like that, I'm taking too much out of the front. When you lay the brick's going to tilt. And again, you might end up with a space. Okay, so you keep that angle almost straight. Okay, that mortar's almost straight. Not quite, just back a little bit. Now we have two, let me straighten this out here. Now we have two little piles of mortar all the way down there to lay the brick on. Okay, and it's fairly even all the way down. It's not too much where you got to bang it down, and it's not enough where you have to pick it up and relay the brick. Okay, there's just enough there to lay a course of brick. You want to learn to spread the correct amount. Okay, one more time we'll do it. When you throw the mortar back in the pan too, get close to the pan with the trowel, like that. Don't go throwing it like this because it'll splash. Every once in a while, give the trowel a bang, please it off. And pick up whatever you drop. Learn to work neatly, because if you work sloppy, if you're walking in mortar all the time and you got mortar all over your hands and everything, your work's going to be that way. Okay? If you learn to work neat, it'll show in your workmanship. Okay? Your brickwork won't be smeared. It'll be very nice and neat. See if I can make a comparison here. Yeah, look at that wall over there. See all the smears all over the mortar? All over the brick? The front of the brick, it's all smeared up. That's Steve Eman. All right, now look over here where Jason Kalou's worked and Mike Cummins. They work very neat. See how clean the brickwork is? That's the object, to be clean. Because the brick has to be washed after the job is done. It has to be acid washed. And the dirtier it is, the more work it's going to be to wash it. So you keep it as clean as possible. All right, one more time. I'm going to spread this and furrow it, and then you can work at it. We'll back up a little bit. Yeah. Nice and easy. Heel the trowel up. Tilt the trowel outwards, so it's pushing the mortar out this way. Don't go too deep with it. It's the waving motion as you walk backwards. Go back and cut the mortar off on a nice angle so you don't have any holes in the front. Okay, you see there's no holes in the front, it's nice and solid. It's not necessary to go back doing this, making it all nice and neat. That wastes time, plus you're going to smear the brick. Okay, one time. After you furrow, you cut it off and that's it. Because if you start doing this, then you end up pushing this back on too much of an angle. Okay, you want it straighter like this is over here. See the difference between this and this? The way that angle is? You guys see that? Yes? No? Yes? Okay, let's have a little reaction here. I think I'm talking to the wall over there. All right, any questions? Okay. Once you feel fairly comfortable with this, and I think that you've mastered it at this level, then what we're going to do is stand up an 8-inch block on each side, put one of those planks across, and we're going to do it at this level. And then after you've mastered it there, then we're going to do it at this level. Okay? Because when you build a wall, you have to learn to spread at all heights. All right? So you're going to be doing it at all 3 levels. After you've done that, and you're doing it well, then we start laying brick, but not until. Okay? Because this is very important that you learn to do this first. All right? Any questions? All right, let's go do it.